The base keyword in C#. What is the base keyword? Now, you would use the base keyword when trying to access from a child class, like dog here. This is a child class. We want to access anything in the base class, hence the base keyword. So it's consider it like a shortcut for accessing methods, properties, and things like that. So here, for example, I have a base animal class here that has a couple private fields and some methods. For example, this method here, it's called animal method, it's public, and it's part of the animal class. So what I can do from the child class dog, I can come in here and say base, and then I can access animal method. And because this is a child class, in this case base is optional, but you can see how it works. It kind of adds a bit of clarity, for example. So what I have here, I have a method called info, and that just outputs to the screen some information about this current dog. So if I go over here, I've created a new dog object here, a dog instance. I've given it a name, an age, and a breed, and then I'm just outputting the info here. So when we run the program, we can kind of see some information about the dog. So what you will kind of see a lot is just adding a bit of clarity, because name and age are both defined in the base class animal here. So you can see name and age there. It adds a bit of clarity. If you look at the code, you can quickly see, oh, okay, these are members of the parent class, so I know to kind of look for there, look there. However, breed is kind of a member of this class, so it doesn't have the base keyword. But you can see quite easily, where these belong just by looking at that keyword. But that's not the main kind of feature of the base class. What I want to talk about now is if you have a constructor in the parent class. For example, animal. If I set up a constructor in animal, you can see there's a bit of a problem with that. If I now try and run the program, it's not going to let me. If I go over to my child class, any of the child classes, this error has appeared, this little red line. And if I hover over that, there's a bit of a cryptic error message here. Now, by default, constructors are not inherited because they're not really members of a class. But now I've defined a constructor in animal here. Now it's having a problem. I can't even compile my software. So what we're going to do here is define a constructor in dog here. That way, when I create my kind of dog object here, I don't have to set all these properties. I can just put them in parameters here when creating our new instance. So let's have a look at how we can do that. So when we create a dog object, I want to specify a name, which is in the parent class, an age, which is also in the parent class, and also a breed. And I want these as all parameters, and breed is part of the dog class, not the base class. So if I go over to the dog class here, the child class, I start creating a constructor. And I want to take in the name of the dog, the age of the dog, and also the breed. So it looks something like that. Now there's a shortcut here. So what we can do here is pass name and age to the base class. And how we do that is after the constructor here, we put a colon and put the keyword base. And then open and close parentheses. And in here we can put, this pretty much calls the constructor of the base class. And our constructor here takes two parameters. So base in this case is a shortcut for the constructor of the parent class. And the constructor takes in two arguments. So if we go back over here, it takes in the name and it takes in the age. So now we're dealing with these two parameters here. They're being thrown up to the base class and the constructor is called. And then we just need to do something with the breed. And we set that here. So now we can set up our parameters here when creating the new instance. And now we don't need any of that. So essentially this is going to do exactly the same thing. So if I run the program now, you can see it outputs all of the information. So one more time, how does that work? We're creating a new instance of the dog class. We're calling the dog constructor, which takes in 3 parameters. Here's our dog constructor. Yes, it does take in 3 parameters. Once the constructor is called, it takes in these 2 parameters and throws them up to the base class. Up in the base class, you can see there's 2 parameters here. It's calling the constructor with 2 parameters. We only have 1 constructor. It has 2 parameters, so then this is called. This sets our properties here, name and age, which subsequently set our private fields through getters and setters. Once the constructor has constructed our animal object, flow goes back out, and then the rest of the dog constructor is called, which just sets the local field here, breed, to breed here. So that's essentially how it works. In the background, it's just calling the base class's constructor right here. So you may be asking, well, why can't we just remove that and kind of do base.name equals name and then the age, for example? No, it's not going to work because this kind of terminology up here, the colon base, is actually calling the constructor of the parent class itself. So it is required, and then that error will kind of resolve itself. So without that, and even if you put those bases in there, it's still going to throw this error here because the parent class's constructor is never constructed. So it doesn't actually ever create this animal object. And because this is the parent class, the child class dog depends on this. So this is why it's required here. And that is the power of the base keyword in C#.